Okay, so we've got our guy in our walk cycle. He's going 30 frames. Say we want to start moving forward, we want to start looping it over and over without, you could, once you get used to doing this certain pattern of walk cycle, you can start moving them forward. But let me show you something that kind of may work, and then you start practicing with that. If I was going to do different styles of walk within the walk, I would probably start animating forward, and then differing from this, like this would have been a step forward right here. He would have moved in time. This would have moved straight, like right there. Then it would have been, let's see that, yeah. This would have been like a little step forward, half a step forward. Then the full step would have been here on this frame right here. So like we did that. That. You start moving him forward. You can start keying him like that if you want to, make it like some little placemats, but you can also kind of start looping this over and then doing it a little easier, because then you're only good for really 30 frames. So let me back that up and undo it, and I hope it didn't screw up my, because I've been having problems with this for some reason. So we have our little looping cycle here, and say we're going to need him doing something past this, So here's a little trick. You can kind of go to the animation, the graph editor. So first things first, you're not going to be able to see these things on the side here, but it's sometimes good. You can kind of like take your infinity views out. In other words, you can see further on past there. This is your animation right here. I like to do it so I can actually see it. So if you keep your infinity view right there on, you've got everything selected basically. All your controllers. Yeah. Go to this curves, pre-infinity cycle with offset. You notice how it changes it? Curves, post-infinity cycle with offset. Let's see what happens now after we. So basically, it's just going to keep going that walk cycle as far as you want to go. It's always going to be repetitive with these right here. Those right there, you can actually start moving it in place and keying at different positions. So if I know, like, for foot, travels for every half step. Let's see, for that right there. Oh, yeah. This is what I would do. I would create another controller and start moving him in place if you want to try it this way. Let's make sure we delete that history there. Freeze that rotation. And I'm basically going to parent this right here. So this is going to be my locator. So half step would have moved here, and I'm just going to be keying this outward one right here. There, I'm going to move it a little bit more. Actually, it's going to be keyed right there, beginning. Yeah, I'm keyed on frame 8. That's going to be my half step. Notice I'm just keying this outer one. And the next frame was frame 15. That's going to be the full the full half step. Then the next frame was on frame 20. That's going to be the other little skip step, which we'll call it. And then frame 30 basically is your full placement step. You'll probably move right there. So you see, and now you kind of go, and you can start marking this, measuring this distance, and start putting little pads down, basically, where each foot would be at. It's a good way to do it, like each right foot or left foot, however you want to do it. These markers here, so you can kind of start keying this thing where these footsteps will be, so you can start getting it right. That is a way to do it. Let's delete this. I want to unparent that thing because I don't want to. One more time. I'm going to have to create another one of these too. There we go. So you may have seen motion paths. It's a good way to kind of mark where your actual walk cycle will go. These are a little tricky because motion path value usually never works out. You've got to adjust, do a lot of adjusting, but sometimes you can get it right. In other words, if you create a circle and you wanted to walk around this circle, one thing you're going to notice, if you go constraining this to this right here as a motion path, it's not going to work because this is actually part of this group here. So you need to kind of treat it like the other thing, create another one controller, and then constrain this one to the actual path. So let me delete the history. And we'll parent robot all controller to the main controller there. Then I'm going to take this one and I will basically motion path constrain by rigging. Motion path constraint to the outer circle. And I have a whole video on this if you want to look more on, where's it at? I will bring it up for you. I do it with cameras basically, so you kind of understand what's going on. I think I do it right here. Oh, no, right here. Making a loop animation in Maya and constraining it to a motion path. So this talks a little bit more about it, but you can actually do this with the animation. So this is kind of a repeat, but it really helps. So attach. You can either attach it to the entire time slider. So what that's going to do basically is attach the entire walk cycle to the entire time limit, or you can actually set your time limit out how you want to. So I'm going to attach it. And of course it's, you know, different, so you have to kind of adjust the, go into your actual motion path attribute and adjust the front axis. I think it was Z. There we go. So now basically you have your guy walking. That's the only thing. See, it's kind of the slipping. It usually never works out right. So you can go and you can go in the animation editor and adjust the value basically of this right here. But what it does, it cuts the distance that's traveled off. You can, let's get out of here and just do a regular surface curve. So you want him to walk something like that right there. Alright, let's shift select that, and it's always kind of fun too to kind of get them right. I know it's never going to work out, but you can kind of, the good thing is you can adjust this motion or this path to how you want it. I know the front axis is going to be Z. So playing in real time, slips a little bit, so I know I need to kind of adjust it down a little bit. Like this is your frame count right there at the end. So basically, to make it kind of look right, you can kind of, I'm clicking on it, kind of, it's basically going to end right there. But what I like about that is you can adjust this vertex basically on the fly to make him look like he's going up a path or whatever, you know. You can also do this in the graph editor itself by taking your path right here and moving this around. That actually does the same thing as move this value that I was adjusting right there. But yeah, so you can kind of mess around with it like that. But honestly, the solid way to do it is to kind of just create this controller, then just kind of move it forward and create like a path like we did in the beginning. Sometimes you can get away with doing like this, making it work for you. You just gotta kind of adjust your path to how your walk cycle looks so you don't got a bunch of sliding. Sometimes if you're just doing a above shot, it may look actually okay too. Like if you've got a camera shot that's kind of following him, but you want your environment to kind of adjust with it too. Like if I put a camera, move this back. Let's create a camera. Get him in view. There we go. Basically here you have a camera key there. You could aim the camera and just have the shoulder view, you know, so you don't really even see the legs. Just something fun to play with. So that's enough messing for me. So enjoy that walk cycle blurb and some of the methods I use to do this. Run cycles are going to be the same way. You can attach those to motion paths a little bit easier in terms because, you know, sometimes you can kind of fudge the little slipping a little bit because they're kind of running. It's really fast anyway, but if you want to attach it to a motion path to kind of get it. But I would suggest using reference paths and reference measuring out how far a step is and then using those curves to kind of like place footprints to where you want to key that locator at. So, but okay, well, have fun with that and thanks for watching.